Burundi, heart of Africa, is an East African country bordered by countries of Tanzania, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Rwanda. World Vision began working in Burundi in 1963. Operation stopped towards the end of the 80s, but restarted in 1993 in response to the acute humanitarian needs caused by the civil unrest. The UN estimates that around 1 million people fled into neighboring countries when the crisis broke out, and around 600,000 were internally displaced. When the crisis broke out in 1993, World Vision Burundi resumed its operations and worked alongside Burundian populations affected by that civil war, working as a relief organization. In 2005, when security was improving slowly, democratic elections were held, refugees and internally displaced people started coming back home. 3 years later, in 2008, security has significantly improved, and World Vision Burundi decided to shift from relief to development. Internally displaced people and returnees became the main target of World Vision. World Vision accompanied them while they settled back in their homes. World Vision Burundi continued to work with vulnerable people, focusing its interventions on sectors of nutrition, food security, economic development, health, and WASH. Why that?
First of all, child malnutrition is one of the greatest development challenges that Burundi faces today. Several studies have estimated that more than 1/2 of Burundian children under 5 years are stunted. And there are three primary factors that are causing this problem. Number one, a high population growth rate. Number two, household poverty. And number three, household food insecurity. So in our new strategy for the next 3 years, as World Vision Burundi, would like to significantly improve the well-being of children. And we have chosen to focus all our efforts towards addressing those three problems that I have mentioned: high population growth rate, food insecurity, household food insecurity, and household poverty. So we'll continue to support programs in the economic development sector that help poor families to improve their agricultural production and productivity so they can produce enough food to feed themselves, but also broaden economic opportunities for them to be able to increase their household incomes. We'll also continue to support programs in the health sector with a primary focus on helping poor families to be able to access affordable and good quality primary health care services, and also improve their access to safe water and sanitation facilities. We'll also continue to support programs in the education sector with a focus on helping children from poor communities to access adequate and good quality education programs.
Internally displaced people, returnees and other vulnerable people affected by the civil war remain the main target of World Vision's interventions. In view of the destructions caused by the civil war, World Vision Burundi launched its natural resources management project to help those people in need to be resilient and increase their food production, food so much needed at that particular period. Some of the refugees were coming back from exile with many children. The civil war, which took lives of more than 300,000 people, developed the feeling of extermination amongst refugees, especially those who were outside of the country. He decided to give birth to many children.
Ikafise nk'abana 20 neka nabangahe basha nabani Auresi inkuru ngeka babivuga yekana president yabivuze no kuntuze urumva baravuga ati abantu mu Burundi abantu barahonye baragize tunore dusarano ivyasambutse kugira tusubize habandi ivyo vyaranshikiye biragira nkuko nyenda tora umugore wa kabiri ariko ntivyari vyemerewe abana nyine barafungura ngira nyine nibo bafungura n'umuntu nkoranye ibi bikorwa ubura cyo barya nose asharagerageza agafungura urumva nanje ntanitanga ko nabonye ngiye ariyo karamu njangoresha kubera nk'ibikorwa nkora jewe World Vision yanyugiye igikorwa cishi kuko yancishije ubwenge kuko bampaye utwo dukoti kuko vyane natevye vyaragoye kandi abigura amafaranga nkihunguka abantu bari bavyifiti ndabitera bica bigora muzayiki bigwaye muzayiki we barambye ati aho rero ahavyagwaye muzayiki niyo dukeneye ko utwereke neza narahabese baragendura bagenduye bace bambye ati bure tuje kuzanira imbuto itazogwara kandi nawe uzokugira akamaro uyiwe n'abahati bikuvuga babonye ibintu nkora bugiye imirambi yose bujya hahiyemo amasinde bariyishe abo bishe aya masinde kugira baze ngahanda bahi imbuto zitagwara kugira nabo babirime bakutugwanya inzara ive mu gihugu.
The country regained security when people were in need of support. That can help them to increase food production because besides a long period they spent without working as they should due to the crisis, there were also diseases attacking crops.
Byaraboneka ko abanyagihugu bakeneye ibikoti kuko ibyo bari bafise byaboneka ko bikariwa n'ingwara iyo ngwara navuze yitwa ya mosaic barayita mosaic severe du manioc.
The Natural Resource Management Project did not only contribute to the disaster reduction and to increase food production, but also propelled the women to positions of leadership. Their work with World Vision has brought them closer to the community and has helped them earn their respect and vote.
World Vision yaraje itangurira muri commune Gashoho mu 2002. Canja muri komite yo gutwara abantu aho nikora. Abanyokuru batishoboye turakorana dutera amabungo mu ipikinyeri, dutera amatunda mu ipikinyeri, tukomeza dukora abo banyokuru ntibacitse intege n'abatama tukagenda tukarima utuntu tutulima duto mugabo dukorana na World Vision. Hanyuma haje politike yo kwitoza nanje ntavuga ati nakare nari nsanzwe ntwara hanyuma nca mu vya politike byo muri manda ya 2005. Uwo munsi ntongwa n'igihugu abanyagihugu bakanterura bakanyirukankana ataco ntanze abantu babagabo batanze inka batanze impene batanze amabido cyo ataco ntanze abantu babanyokuru n'abatama n'abakenyezi bavyumva bakavuga ati natwe turabe ko twatora umukenyezi twizeye.
With that project, witches have started to cut across the hills of Burundi. They look pretty, but are not for aesthetic reasons. Erosion is a big problem in this hilly nation already hit by alarming levels of hunger and still struggling for normalcy after decades of civil war. Disaster risk reduction activities have contributed to the increase of food production.
Bamaze kubona All Division itanguye ubu yaramaze gufata komine yose ya Gashoho ubu rero byaciye bishikira intara yose buramatari yaciye avuga ati nimureke kuvuga ko All Division izoguma ibafasha nikije mu minwe yanyu mwese ubu rero intara yose turi mu mugambi wo kugira iterambere ryo kwimba imikobeko kugira ngo dukingire isi mu bisanzwe imikobeko imaze kuza ubu umwimbu uri muratera uje imbere kare ahantu wahora wimbura ibiro 10 ubu urashobora kuhimbura ibiro 50.
Besides the increase of food production, World Vision is also interested in the quality of food produced, especially food for children. Why?
World Vision is interested in the quality of food. One of the causes of the malnutrition is the poor feeding practices. What we do is to teach to the mothers how to use the local available food in the community that is available in the community. Stunting with related micronutrient deficiencies result in diminished cognitive and physical development of the children, which puts them at a disadvantage for the rest of their life, with low performance at school and also low productivity as adults, comparing to the other children.
World Vision Burundi is putting a lot of emphasis on the area of nutrition as a sector in its own right, as well as being integrated as an important part within the health and food security sectors due to the intrinsic rapport between them. According to UNICEF, nearly 1 million children under the age of 5 in Burundi are chronically malnourished. 58% of those children also suffer from stunted growth, while acute malnutrition levels have reached 6%. The country is deeply affected by the chronic nature of food and nutrition insecurity. These last 5 years, prevalence of chronic malnutrition revealed itself to be the highest in Africa and the second in the world after East Timor. Nutrition project is saving lives of children. In Burundi, because of lack of enough health centers, people have depended for a long time on traditional healers in terms of health care. And when malnutrition hits, some parents take their children to witch doctors, a dangerous practice. Fortunately, World Vision Burundi is using a low-cost approach to teach poor families how to prevent and manage malnutrition amongst children. Each year, World Vision screens more than 20,000 children, and a quarter of them is usually found malnourished, and World Vision Burundi rehabilitate them. Liela is a 3-year-old girl who recently bounced back from acute malnutrition. When she was 1 year old, she became sick. Her health status worsened daily. What worsened it most was the fact that instead of taking her to hospital, her parents carried her to witch doctors that performed their rituals in vain. With encouragements of World Vision Health mobilizers, her parents took her finally to hospital, where she was treated by ready-to-use therapeutic food provided by World Vision Burundi.
Rero mbone mu Kirundi ataco bamugeriye cyo kuvuga ngo arakiza canje muramvye kumuhesha amato baramuha amata ndamarayo n'amezi abiri amarero amezi abiri ahetse barambwira ati umwana arakize kandi naje nabamwe ko yakize kuko ko namujyanye siko yari amezi ntashe nyine barambwira ati ngo turamuha indya tumufasha ndema mubiri z'ibiharage nananga ngo indya z'ubwoko bwose nasanganya ngamuro z'imboga ubwoko bwose rero ndaza rero n'ubunguma nkoresha kubimurondere.
The obligation of securing children like Liyela in Burundi is not only a moral but also an economic choice. According to UNICEF, if nothing is done, Burundi will be losing around $102 million each year due to the consequences caused by malnutrition. Malnutrition that doesn't leave behind affected families. Due to malnutrition, they lose both time and their hard-earned money.
Tujyanye mbere ubwa mbere natangwe nda 60,000 umufasoni nda 60,000 nza numva mu minsi 2 ngo byaheze tikumbure byaje yose rukuramenda aho nawe kigende tujyanye turajyana jaho ngiriye cyo kwitura mu yakiye numva ngo tanga senkane cyandagenda datanze baramiti yo fufaza ndapfufaza nkasanga aha akabona umenga yatoye imitende ubundi haca nibaza ati ujya muntu reko namuhaje amahera byaje byose yampenze ndimuse ngiye handi urumva sinamuvuza hamwe sinamuvuza ku muntu uze umuvuza umwe ndasumagana cyangenda iyo ikiganda cyanamuvuza kuri 2 yashaba 5 aho rero nta muntu n'umwe yaje munsi yo kumbwira ati ndamuhe 30 uwanyuma yancira 30 227 byose byaraheze.
And because of World Vision Burundi intervention, Liyela is now a healthy and lively 3-year-old girl. In most of cases, malnutrition is caused by lack of birth spacing in families. That is why World Vision Burundi has launched its Health, Timing and Spacing Pregnancy project, and around 5,000 community members per year are sensitized on family planning, and World Vision Burundi plans to have messages delivered to these people integrated into all activities that are supported by World Vision Burundi. That way, World Vision expects to reach a large number of mothers and enhance their reproductive health. Why is it important for World Vision Burundi to put much emphasis on this?
This because when children are not spaced, or even when parents are not limiting births, you can see a mother will not have enough time to take care of children. She will not have enough time to practice exclusive breastfeeding or even to practice supplementation. Yeah, that's why we are insisting on spacing pregnancies so that a mother can find enough time to take care of a child, or even to limitate so that she can have a limited number of children, to make sure she or even all the family, they are able to take care of the children. This is a very important message to deliver to help parents to be more conscious of that fact.
Village Savings and Loans Associations. During the ADP's design phases, community members are found to have irregular and insufficient incomes. Our zones of interventions have no financial institutions that can provide credits, and community members are not resilient to economic shocks and household emergencies and continue to need assistance. World Vision Burundi is supporting communities to start village savings and loans associations, though it is only 1 year old. Rapidly, that approach is changing lives of vulnerable people, especially women. In FY13, 300 and 600 households were targeted by training sessions of World Vision Burundi on how to start and run those associations. Cornali, who is living in Rutegama ADP, center of Burundi, finds that with World Vision support, they have been able to create banks for poor people. In less than 1 year, she was able to breed different sorts of livestock and to increase food production. This is helping her to be resilient. It was started by guinea pigs, rabbits after. Later, bigger than that, pigs. Now she has hired a marshal. World Vision Burundi wants to reach 16,200 households in the upcoming 3 years.
Tugitangura jewe baregeranije udufaranga baziganije ndabona bafise ibihumbi 10 nti nimuyangurane cegerenje ndafata nagenda yagurana nguri inkwavu ahantu kumubanyi haje haruguru gatoyi ivyo bihumbi 10 nayo kwemwe inkwavu zitanu ndazitunze rero zirankundira yemwe zakura ku nguvu kuba twari tugiziharaye nabo bana barazahirira basi zikura ku nguvu mu misi mikenza mbona zafise amezi kuko nasanze harimwe n'isuguru rumwe ruramvyarira ubwana indwi urundi nago numvyarira 8 mu nyuma haravyaye n'urundi ruvyara 10 nkaza ndakuramwo nshaka kuziganya nabuze aho nikora nashangurisha icana cy'urukwavu nkagurisha inoti ya 2 nkaca ndonkambika mwishira hamwe birabandanya bukebuke birakura nizongeramo kandi ziteba kuvyara bibanda zifise mbeba ni 15 muga muyo mize twarakuye mu tungaye turaturya dutatu turaturya haraho ugoroba ukabona ko bikugoye gafata tubeba cyangwa gafata gakwavu kakarya naho tuzitunze si gutunga gusa ngo turondera amaronko gusa turaronderera n'ubuzima bwacu kugira ngo abana bacu bakorane amagara meza. Niho mu nyuma nafata ndagurisha inkwavu 5 candagura kwagurube bikwacu twatanga mu 2011 mu nyuma rero niho World Vision yadutora irumva ati hariho tushira hamwe dukora ibintu by'ubuzima n'uguranana cyaduhamagara baraduha inyigisho n'ibikoresho rero turabandanya no kuri iryo shyirahamwe yadufitiye akamaro kanini kuko niyi myabo uriko raraba nta munywanyi numwe turi kumwe turabanywanyi 14 nta munywanyi numwe adafise aho yakoteje amafaranga akuye mwishira hamwe inyigisho zanyigisho zaratwuguruye turakora turahindura ingendo inyifato muko twakora siko twabandanije gukora kuko ivyo twakora ntivyari bitomoye ukuntu dukora urana ko baduhaye igitabo twandikamwo duhibi amasanduku yo kubiziganya kubikamwe amafaranga yacu ayasigaye adatwawe n'abanyagihugu kujya basaba ingurane yatosha mu isanduku nahandi ho tugitangura twarabuhana hari n'uwagaruka atageze inama agaruka yaburiye umugira ikinone ariko udasavye ingurane ayasigaye bavuga ati asigaye mu isanduku arayi mu isanduku cha twugurura duse ugaruka kandi duhingurana ubanje kuri idena fisi abantu bato nyene barashaka gushaka bakoresha udushira hamwe nyene twukuzanya n'uguranana mabanki hajayo nyene abo bize canka bakomeresa niyo babishone nka twebwe dukoresha utunyene nitwo tudufasha kandi turabona ko atangorane yego
mugaba mwahaharuye amazi akaguma atemba murazitaba ubu rero hasigaye iki hari igikorwa batubwiye dushigaje kwama dutanga intererano kugira ngo nihagire ibombo rigasaza turonka mikoro n'ingere tuzobwira abadukurira bakadufasha.
In rural Burundi, poor access to safe drinking water, lack of proper sanitation facilities and poor hygiene practices remain in some areas a major obstacle to achieving better health. The National Inventory for Water and Sanitation done by Burundi Ministry of Energy and Mining in 2010 states that for the whole country, the proportion of people using clean water is 55%. 2 years ago, on Higiro Hill of Gasogwe Zone in Mwinga Province, northeast of Burundi, World Vision Burundi partnered with community members of that locality to construct a water point Community members are happy to have now clean water. What is encouraging is that the communities have set in place structures which are managing water sources for sustainability. John Bigeze, president of Higiro Water Source, is holding a meeting reminding community members to take care of the water source and to give their yearly contribution. 500 Burundian francs, less than $1. A small sum, but enough to take care of that public facility. John is happy to see that community members cooperate and are willing to pay. World Vision Wash Project has touched in FY13 250,000 people around the country. Clean water that is not only contributing to enhancement of people's health, but also help them to develop activities of development. While water is supplied, they water crops and they give it to their livestock.
kugira ngo byubakwe twaragerageje turashomba amabuye turitanga cyane. World Vision idufasha umusenyi nawe nyene twawushombesheje umutwe uko atawe baradufise ikiwudushirira kumire tukoresha umutwe. Harageraho iyo ivomo rishaje rikenera intererano narakoresheje ibitasi turatanga natwe intererano tuba duterereye kugira ngo World Vision ironke inguvu ironke ingene uburyo ivomo ryatwononekarana baronke ingene badufasha.
In Giteranyi commune neighbor to Gasogwe in the same province, where World Vision Burundi hasn't intervened yet, people lament they are spending a lot of time collecting and clean water.
Ahantu tuyakuye bahita mu Kadeberi hafise urugendo rw'isaha n'iminota 20 kugenda no kugaruka. Ratwe tugenda duhese umugongo turimo turasinduka tuduga. Inguvu zica ziguma ziragabanuka kubera n'ibintu gutanyinshi. Tugaca tuduga bukebuke. Tugaca bidutwara iyo saha n'iminota 20. Hari ikintu gipfa kubera nk'ubu nko ku isoko nk'ubu kugira umuntu ateke nko barategereje yuko riza gushikana amazi hanyuma aza kugura. Hariho n'igihe ashobora kuza kuyagura agasanga ntayariho aca abanza agasubira inyuma. Asubira inyuma rero nk'umwana agiye akeneye kuza kujya ku ishuri aca cererwa kubera batevye guteka hasi.
World Vision Burundi is so far satisfied with its achievements in partnership with Burundian vulnerable people. However, much is still to be done. With more funding, more would be done for better life, for the benefit of children.
Knowing the complexity and relationship between challenges at community level, World Vision Burundi, if we had the opportunity to get additional funding, we will contribute to solve the challenges at community level in a more and better integrated approach with other sectors: food security, health, nutrition, wash and education. For example, to contribute to the solution of malnutrition at community level, our approach with additional funding will be focused on PDF, positive deviance, FARN, CMAM, IYCF. But at the other hand, at the same time, we want to increase household income through Village Saving Loans Association, VSLA, through value chain approaches targeting specific crops in our communities where we are working, and also making sure that issues related to birth spacing, issues related to family planning are also well integrated. And the approach related to health, for example, will be focusing on delivering key messages, knowledge and utilization of maternal and child health knowledge, and also health timing and spacing approaches at community level.